Greetings from the Arcturians and Prophet Muhammad. We'll just say Prophet Muhammad in this video because it is connected to Prophet Muhammad specifically. Now, I've been getting this message over and over again that I need to do the next video for Robert Spencer because he's been waiting for it and I'm getting a yes. Yeah, I'm being told that he's been waiting for it because he wants to know the truth, is what I'm being told right now by the Arcturians and Prophet Muhammad. So, why don't you come connect with me? Why don't you come connect with us, Robert? Like, how many times do we need to give you that offer or extend that offer to you if you are this curious and if you want to know the truth about Prophet Muhammad and the things that you've written down in your book called Muhammad, A Critical Biography. You're welcome to come connect with me. You're welcome to come connect with us. But since I keep getting the message over and over again that we need to do the next video for Robert Spencer, so here I am and here we are. Now I think we were on chapter 1 of the book called Muhammad, A Critical Biography, and we are on page 7 of chapter 1. And so we are on page 7 of chapter 1. Now let me just read out a little bit here from the book. Page 7. It says, in the course of those 23 years, he produced the Quran in piecemeal fashion. He and his followers maintained that it was the record of his revelations from Allah, while his detractors dismissed it as his own imaginings and forgeries. Now, Prophet Muhammad is saying something. Right, he's saying that those were not his own imaginings and forgeries. Those were revelations from God, from Allah. Is that it for now? Right, he's saying yes, continue. Right, okay. Let's keep reading. The believers, armed with this holy book and the teachings and example of Muhammad, streamed out of Arabia shortly after his death and embarked upon a breathtaking series of conquests, spreading the new religion from Spain to India within 100 years after Muhammad's death. Now again, Prophet Muhammad wants to chime in. Now he's saying that this has got nothing to do with him. All this about the believers armed with this holy book and the teachings and example of Muhammad streamed out of Arabia shortly after his death and embarked upon a breathtaking series of conquests. Right, okay, so it is saying that this was done shortly after Muhammad's death. But right, yeah, so Muhammad is saying that he's got nothing to do with this series of conquests, spreading the new religion from Spain to India within 100 years after Muhammad's death. Yeah, so Prophet Muhammad has already died, right? But and this is within 100 years after Muhammad's death. So Prophet Muhammad's already dead and gone, right? And Prophet Muhammad is saying that he's got nothing to do with all this series of conquests, spreading the new religion from Spain to India. He's saying he's got nothing to do with that. Armed with his holy book and the teachings and example of Muhammad. Yeah, Muhammad is saying he's got nothing to do with that. Right, let's read on. Muhammad's third successor, Uthman. Now, some also pronounce this name as Usman, or Hazrat Usman. Now, it says, collected and codified the various sections of the Quran and distributed it to the growing Muslim community just over 20 years after Muhammad's death in the year 653. Again, this is all happening after Muhammad's death. This is all happening after Prophet Muhammad's death, is the key point, is what Prophet Muhammad is saying here as well. And then it says, after that, the conquered peoples accepted Islam more quickly than ever. Now, coming back to Uthman or Usman, collecting and codifying the various sections of the Quran and distributing it to the growing Muslim community just over 20 years after Muhammad's death. So this is happening 20 years after Muhammad's death. What's Usman doing? Usman is collecting, or Uthman is collecting and codifying the various sections of the Quran and distributing it to the growing Muslim community. Now, this is happening 20 years after Muhammad's death, or Prophet Muhammad's death. And what I know about Uthman or Usman or Hazrat Usman is that, and this is what Prophet Muhammad is telling me as well, that Uthman or Usman burned most of Prophet Muhammad's teachings. Okay? And that's the truth. That's the truth of the matter. And Prophet Muhammad is telling me this truth, and Prophet Muhammad is asking me to tell you and everyone else this truth, that Uthman or Usman burned most of Prophet Muhammad's teachings. So then the question also arises, how much of the Quran has come from Prophet Muhammad? Right? Because if most of the teachings of Prophet Muhammad were burned by Uthman or Usman, then whatever is there in the Muslim holy book, Quran, how much of that has actually come from Prophet Muhammad and from Prophet Muhammad's revelations? How much of that, how much of the Quran has come from Prophet Muhammad, or whatever is there in the Quran? How much of that has actually come from Prophet Muhammad? When most of Prophet Muhammad's teachings were burned by, or were burnt by, Uthman or Usman or Hazrat Usman. Right, do I need to read the rest of this page? Okay, yeah, let me go through it. And then the book says, all those assertions, however, despite being taken for granted almost universally today, rest on much later writings. Again, that's another key point. Rest on much later writings. And who were writing those writings? Who were writing these much later writings? It was certainly not Prophet Muhammad, right? Because Prophet Muhammad's already dead and gone by that time. And yes, like you're also saying, writings that are so late that the accuracy of this canonical account cannot be taken for granted. You're saying it yourself. Going through the available historical records. Again, available historical records. And how accurate are these available historical records, right? And then the book says, one by one in chronological order. So going through the available historical records one by one in chronological order, we go for a considerable period before encountering anyone who corresponds fully to the now familiar figure of the Prophet of Islam. Of course, some of the documents of the earliest period of Islam have undoubtedly been lost. Well, there you go then. There you go then. Some of the documents of the earliest period of Islam have undoubtedly been lost. And we've already told you about Uthman or Usman and what he did with most of Prophet Muhammad's teachings. I'm getting Prophet Muhammad is saying that Usman or Uthman burned most of Prophet Muhammad's teachings. Now, okay, do I need to read any more there right now? Yeah, maybe I'll just read this bit. Nevertheless, the absence of Muhammad from all of the earliest texts relating to the 7th century Arab conquests of the Middle East, North Africa, Persia, and India is striking. Yeah, the absence of Muhammad from all of that. Right, Prophet Muhammad is saying because he's not behind any of it. But then again, he's dead by now, isn't he? This is all happening after Prophet Muhammad's death. And yes, I'm getting a yes. So, all of these 7th century Arab conquests of the Middle East, North Africa, Persia, and India, nothing to do with Prophet Muhammad, nothing to do with Prophet Muhammad's teachings either, because we've already just told you that Uthman or Usman or Hazrat Usman burned most of Prophet Muhammad's teachings on purpose. Prophet Muhammad is saying right now on purpose, and he did that on purpose. Oh my God, because he was jealous? And I'm getting a yes. Prophet Muhammad is saying because he was jealous. Wow, yeah, you see, this is the thing. Now, more and more truth is going to unfold since we've started talking about all these things. Even about all these characters around Prophet Muhammad, like Uthman or Usman or Hazrat Usman. The truth about all of them is going to come out now. And yeah, I shouldn't say characters because, of course, these were real people. But the truth about all of these people around Prophet Muhammad in that lifetime of his in Saudi Arabia 1400 years or so ago, The truth about all of these people around Prophet Muhammad is going to come out now through me, through us. And Prophet Muhammad is saying I can close out this message for now. So we'll talk to you more on this, of course, and we'll continue reading this book and going through, you know, all of these things, and we'll keep bringing out the truth about all of this that you've written down in this particular book of yours called Muhammad, A Critical Biography. But for now, we're going to leave it there. I hope you take care. Until next time, over and out.